Hey, welcome to your next best step with Brett Cockrell, the locker room for purpose-driven leaders. This is where we slow down, reflect, and we take our next best step through real stories, practical strategies, and rooted leadership wisdom. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, even the best leaders need a coach in their corner. Hey, welcome to your next best step, the locker room for purpose-driven leaders. This is where we slow down, reflect, and take our next best step through real stories, practical strategies, and rooted leadership wisdom. I help you lead with some clarity and intentionality so you don't have to just wing it, because even the best leaders need a coach in their corner. Let's go. I have a friend here with me today, and there is a little bit of a theme from these early podcasts. This is podcast number 21, and I think half of them have been from the Lions group.
Oh yeah, represent.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, husband of one, father of five, a man with many interests, which makes him very interesting. A good buddy, Kenworth Reeves. Welcome to your Next Best Step podcast.
Hey man, great to be here with you, Breck. Appreciate you, man. Love what you're doing. Thankful for a lifetime of friendship and adventure with you and all those other rascals we know
Yeah,
to call friends. It's an
man.
honor, man. Thank you.
Well, it's good to have you here. Give the listeners a little bit of a backstory. You're in
Greenville, South Carolina. That's
Greenville,
right.
South Carolina, and I talked about many interests. Give us a few interest things that you are invested in and interested in there in Greenville, just to give us a little bit of scope and understanding of your context.
Yeah. So, interest wise, man, I have a lot of interests, right? So I love just on the personal side, obviously family is just number one for me. And anybody that knows me knows that I love to travel. I love
Man,
adventure.
you do. You are. Well, I love your adventures, your family adventures. I've got your. Where's my? I got the card right
Oh,
here, and on the back,
yeah.
all the different pics and adventures you guys, the Reeves family has been on.
It's man, we love it. And thank God all my family, they love to go too.
Yeah.
We joke sometimes because if you were like on a scale of 1 to 10, like how much do you love adventure and travel and exploring new cultures and places? I'm like, I'm off the scale.
Mm,
And my wife and kids are probably like eights.
okay.
That difference can be, you know,
Exhausting.
exhausting. So I gotta watch that sometime.
Yeah.
But we love to travel. We love camping. We bought an RV a few years ago and gone to all but 3 states. So we've traveled the country in the RV, camping, exploring this beautiful country together. Uh, yeah, I mean, I surfing, fishing, all the things.
Yeah.
Um, business wise, yeah. So I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. I own a real estate investment company where I buy kind of mismanaged property or distressed property, and I
Okay.
renovate it and I turn it around and I rent most of it.
Mm,
Breck, 5 kids, man. That's a lot of college and
a lot of
braces,
groceries.
Nikes. Oh man, I remember when I used to go to the store and buy like 3 bananas and 2 boxes of cereal. Now it's like 15 bananas and like it's crazy.
And what's your age range on the kiddos?
So oldest is 20,
Okay.
youngest is 8.
8.
So he was
Okay.
our little bonus baby. Yeah.
Amen.
3 boys, 2 girls. So blessed. Love them. So yeah, real estate investment company. So it's just really, I buy, renovate, and lease property. So
Okay.
single family, multifamily. I'm in manufactured housing, RV parks, campgrounds. Just a lot of
Yeah.
really on the affordable side too. So
Right.
really, I create the best, most affordable places for people to live.
Mm,
That's my niche.
okay.
That's where I could afford to get in 10 years ago, and that just became my thing.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. It's just where I could play, and then I
Yeah.
became really great at it. And I just, it was entrepreneurs were naturally wired to like, oh, squirrel. Oh, let me do commercial. Let me do
Yeah.
industrial. Let me do cold storage. And I just know me. And I just put the blinders on. And I just said, I'm going to be best in class,
Mm,
best in the world, not the world, but my world
yeah.
of what I do.
Mm.
And that's what I've done. I just keep plugging away.
Wow. Love that. Maybe we'll circle back around. I'd love to dive into that a little bit more. Um, and then you got a couple other, you got
Yeah. Yeah. So I own a brewery.
Stripes.
Yep, 13 Stripes, which is now, we started, well, I've been operating 10 years. It took us a few years to get open. So I've got a lot of time and energy and heartache and heartburn and, you know,
Yeah.
all the things building this. And when we started, we were, I mean, underdogs that people made fun of.
And
And
it's a
now
brewing company.
it's a brew. Yeah, it's right. It's a beer company, beer brand. We've got a big brew space, brew house, huge tap room, a lot of community events. And yeah, that's going really well. And we're now the oldest distributed brewery in Greenville. So
Wow.
I'm like pinch myself that
Yeah.
we're here. And
I saw you post something. It was so cool. It was you guys, I mean, it looked like a ton of people. And were you guys like, was it around Chris? You guys were singing. It was,
oh yeah.
what was that event?
So yeah, man, that's what well, we do that probably 6 nights a year. It's called Hymns and Hops.
Come on.
Breck. It's church, man. It's church like, I mean, we have hymnals. So you got
Yeah.
people like holding a hymnal
Yeah.
and a beer. And it's just, dude,
That's so badass.
it's packed. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It is such an energetic, beautiful, soulful, like it just fills our hearts, man,
Yeah.
and our walls. And it's one of the most favorite things we've ever done.
And how
And
many people show up for that?
oh man, 600. Like
Oh,
you can't, it's wall to wall.
yeah.
I
It
mean, it
looked like
spills onto the deck, spills
hundreds.
out onto the deck. There's people standing in the parking lot. I mean, it's wild. It's
That is
awesome.
so cool. What an incredible experience environment you created there.
It's
So you
fun.
so you've done that, and then I love this other. You've started a little company with your boys.
Yeah, so we actually acquired that company. We bought it together.
Okay.
I've said this for a while. Like I said, I want to start buying companies. Like I want to own a portfolio of companies. Like I have a portfolio of housing, right?
Okay.
Real estate. And so I started marching down that path and did a couple of deals. And then I had this deal, my oldest son went to college for one whole semester and
Yeah.
was like, Dad, this is just not for me. Thanks for letting me try it. I just want to work. I want to make money. I want to build a business, buy it. Like, and at the same time, I guess I'll back up. My kids were in my real estate business. There's always trash, right? I buy stuff that's loaded down. It's disgusting. And I spend a lot of money every week, every month on trash.
Mm,
So, raised our kids to know how to work and they have work ethic and they do stuff around the house, even to this day. And so they know how to work and they're not afraid of getting dirty. And so when they were 16 and 14, I was like, hey, boys, you want to make some money? It's like, yeah. I was like, and they love trucks and trailers. And
yeah.
like, all right, well, here's the truck, here's the trailer. I went and did a couple jobs with them so they know how to do it, got dirty
Yeah.
with them. And I said, this is how it's done. Go to the dump it, drop the truck, drop the trailer. And they started like crushing.
Yes.
And which is cool because it's money I'm already spending. And I just got to divert it right to my sons who are working their tails off and learning how to do it. And then I had friends along the way that would hire them to do stuff. And we have a great community here, know a lot of people, and there's management companies, and I know all of these people,
Yeah.
but they can't hire my boys because they need insurance in the company and
Right.
tenant. So there's a season where I was like, guys, when you if you don't want to go to school once you're 18, we can stand up a little entity and we can go get all this business because you're the best. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And I said, it's probably a little $500,000 a year business, which is very juicy for two young bucks.
Yes, it is.
And it's not just you start with trash and then you build on like, oh, do you do fencing? Okay, yeah. Oh, do you? That's
Yeah.
and so they love that idea. And
Trash
then
is the gateway.
it's the gateway. That's right, exactly. So then he went to college, so that settled down. And then when he decided to come back at the same time, I had sniffed out this deal that was for sale, and it was a junk business, a world that we already know, we're already in. My boys already know how to do it. So I said, well, great timing. Let's buy this company. And so we did. It's a franchise. It's called Junk King, and wonderful franchise, wonderful support. And let's see, it's 3 years in existence. First year did like 119,000. Second year did 236, and we bought it. It had done 419,000 in revenue. So, and it can double on existing infrastructure, which is cool.
Yeah.
So that's us. We're taking it for
That
419.
that is so interesting. I hadn't even thought about this to your describing it. So just for listeners, Kenworth is a part of our Lions group. Both of my brothers are in this group. Thad is the one who's kind of the catalyst for bringing us all together. And now we've got this, I don't know, there's about 22, 23 of us that have been on these trips together. We're about ready to head to Nashville this weekend for an amazing gathering of whoever can come, and one of our buddies is hosting us, and so it's very cool. But so John and Thad, so our dad was a pastor we were in Kansas City. So I'm 7 years older than John, 9 years older than Thad. So they were, when I was 14, 15, they were little, right? And so, but dad, and I'm not exactly sure why he did this, but dad always had a couple of rental homes
Okay.
in Kansas City. When we moved to Tampa, he had some, but I'll never forget, like, I hated it because when it was time to when the old, like the crew was out, they were getting a new one. They had always just beat the hell out of this place, right?
Oh yeah.
Trash
Oh
it.
yeah.
And so,
That's
like, a Saturday morning, Dad would go, "All right, Breck, let's go. We got to go clean up the apartments." I'm like, "Oh, what?
yeah.
Are you kidding me?" Oh, we would go, and it would just be trashed, and we would go throw it in the back of the truck, and then we would go to the dump.
Yeah.
And I mean, we went to the dump 100 times if we went 5 times, right? And learning how to go to the dump, uh, and not be scared and go like, and then that I started a little lawn company that I was 15 at the time. So dad helped me buy a truck. I had a couple of lawnmowers. I had about 15 different clients, and I would just drive. Like I would drive. It was just me, and I had an apartment complex. I had a kind of a shopping center kind of thing. I had a couple of churches. I had a hotel, you know, and
Nice little portfolio there. Yeah.
and so I was making some bank at
Yeah.
15. And then some girl in the youth department outed me. He said it's not fair that the pastor's son gets to drive when he's only 15. He doesn't have his license.
Oh my. I was gonna ask about that. You said 15. I was like, ah, that's awesome.
Which is crazy because my dad was very strict. But when it came to that, like, hey, and I drove all over Kansas City, Kansas
Well,
City, Kansas City, Kansas, downtown. I'd be out completely. He wouldn't know where I was at if he needed to find me. There was no cell phones. This is 1970 something, right? So, and then she outed me. And so the parent came to dad and like, hey, I hear your Breck's not doesn't have his driver's license. So he
Oh
came
my.
to me and he said, hey, son, you're gonna have to you can't drive anymore. So I had to hire my buddy Troy Romeo, who was 16, just
Uh,
to drive and cut into my profits.
I love it. Hey, resourcefulness though. You didn't give up. You found another way.
But we would always have junk that we'd have to get off the thing, and I'd take it to. So it just that was a flashback. I hadn't even thought about that in a long time.
Well, I never knew that. So that's awesome. So you know
Yeah.
the business.
So man, and here's the other thing that I know you have an interest in, and is leadership.
Yes.
And and that's one of the things that I think it's one of the common threads that we all have in our group, our friends group, is that the intentionality um, of all the guys as it relates to leading themselves, leading their families, their kids, the organizations that they're part of. I feel like it's very inspiring and aspiring to be a part of this group. And you're one of those guys, Kenworth, and I've been following you more lately over the last year or two on like IG and social like media and stuff, and just kind of seeing that kind of world um, as it relates to leadership. So I'd love to get into a little bit of that, but to just kind of launch into something, what are you excited about for 2026? Here we're sitting in the middle of January. 26 is here. Is there something that you're excited about, whether it's professionally, personally, whatever that is, that kind of has your attention?
Yeah, great question. And I'm one of those guys. I'm excited. I'm more excited like every new year, I'm more excited about the next year than I was the previous year. And I was very excited about that year.
Hmm.
I'm like a forever optimist. I don't remember the bad stuff. I let it go. And so it's always an exciting time. And this year is actually really exciting. Um, when you asked me my hobbies, what I didn't say was, I'm learning how to sail, and I bought a sailboat last year, and I'm I was scheduled to sail across the Atlantic Ocean with me and two buddies in May,
Wow.
which I was like, turn the corner of the year. All my focus is very little travel, which is hard for me,
Hmm.
and a lot of time on the boat as much as possible, and be with my family a lot because that's a big ask to be, on the water for a month.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what it will take is a month.
About a month, yeah. And I was going to fly so Charleston to Lisbon. I was going to fly my family to Portugal. But the other side of it, so we're going to postpone it 1 year because of something else that is super exciting.
Okay.
It's that we're moving the brewery from its current location to a new location. We're kind of in a little bedroom community called Taylor's. We're moving to Greenville, and new location. I mean, it's perfect.
Hmm.
But have you ever you move a house?
Yeah.
It's a pain in the neck,
Yeah.
bro. Moving a brewery, and yeah, so we're building out the new space now. We raised little capital. We're going for it. And what's cool about the brewery is like we're becoming the thing that we always saw in our heart and our mind
Hmm.
of being more than just this little cool brewery tap room, but a real community and a real brand. So when you talk about, you know, beer in the state of South Carolina, you're going to hear 13 Stripes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of markets have gotten crushed, the last couple of years, but craft beer has gotten annihilated.
Right.
And, I've said this for a while. I said, markets get real hot and they cool off, right? There's always attrition. Even real estate gets real hot. Everybody gets into it and they realize, oh my gosh, this is really hard and painful. And there people trash your units and you got to go to the dump. And then they're out.
Hmm.
I just stay the course and I'll keep buying and doing all the hard work and
Yeah.
long periods of time. Same with craft beer. So when there's attrition, we will go all in again. when everybody's running for the tree line, dude, we're gonna sharpen our swords, paint our faces, and we're gonna go take the freaking hill. And so, and it's gonna take everything we've got again.
Mm,
But that is our moment. And we are living in that moment right now today.
mm.
You know, like I said, underdog to OG, and everybody else is sadly, I know you don't like to see guys
Right.
go out of business, but we have stayed the course and we're doing better than ever. And we've got a strong, unbelievable community. And so we'll open up, I was supposed to be gone May and June. And we were stuck in what I call engineering purgatory with all the engineers and all the, you got to move the sink 6 inches closer to the commercial dishwasher, all that. That took way more time than it should have, which delayed our grand opening, which was probably going to happen July 4th, which is pretty cool because big birthday for America.
Yeah. Wow.
But I had to make the tough call this last week and say, and you know me, Breck, I don't cancel. I'm like,
This-
I, I'm all in.
yeah.
But I can't change math and time. And it's just, this is going to happen. But I am super excited to launch this new brewery that's going to be, I mean, like, there's just nothing else like it.
Yeah.
If Ralph Lauren opened up a brewery, this is what it's going to look like.
I love it.
Dude, and all you guys are invited. I hope
Oh man.
everybody needs to come.
I just got found out where we're going to be spending 4th of July. So
Let's go.
that'd be awesome. I
So
love
very excited about that. Like a dream come true again.
what on the flip side, is there something in 26 that you're unsure about?
I think for me, I'm in this position of like scale and really trying to figure out scale, right? And I think
Scale for you personally, scale for your company, for scale all things.
all things, and really it's just kind of like if you have like Kenworth and then 13 and then all the companies that I
Yeah.
own and have operational interest in, and how do we scale well. I was just in a meeting with she's becoming like my chief of staff and going to hire a full-time assistant
Mm,
to fill a lot of the gaps. But it's like the systems and processes, like what got me here
mm,
will not get me there.
yeah.
And I see where I'm going and I know I'm going to get there. And I'll do the work to get there. It's just a lot of work. And it's some unknowns, right? It's more teams, it's more structure, it's more everything. So for me, it's like, am I sure? It's like, well, yeah, I've never scaled this much before.
Yeah.
That's so many things kind of all at once, right? So yeah, but we're gonna figure it out, man. We're gonna get through it. That's what we do.
Yeah. That's cool. Kenworth, leadership. Like, do you have what you would call a definition, or kind of like what's your take on leadership? Christian and I had this kind of interesting conversation about leadership, and that's what this podcast is about. It's geared for leaders and helping them take their next best step, dot, 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 whatever that is, whether that's personal, whether that's professional, whether it's a combination of those things. And I got intrigued and turned on to like leadership early in my 20s, probably earlier than that, actually, to be honest with you. And was kind of set into some leadership roles in my teens, and but I've always been intrigued. I've always loved, the Zig Ziglars back in the day,
Oh
Charles
yeah.
Jones, all these, and then Maxwell came along, and some other kind of leadership influencers. But I've always been intrigued by leadership. What do you kind of consider a leader, and kind of the importance of leadership in your world?
Yeah, so real quick footnote on what you said. So I grew up, my dad was very much a like rah rah, motivational. So, a single dad for first 10 years of my life.
Okay.
He's 20. He's trying to figure out how in the heck to be a dad. And this is back in the cassette days, right? My dad was Zig Ziglar, Norman Vincent Peale, you know, Dale Carnegie, all these guys, all the time. He
Yeah.
didn't he didn't listen to music. He didn't
That,
listen to
that's
news. He didn't listen to sports.
yeah.
It's all
All
that,
motivational stuff. Yes.
all motivational stuff. Which as a kid, you're like, you can't really, But I think by osmosis,
Yeah.
I got a lot of it. But a funny story. So my dad, here he is trying to figure out how to be a better dad and like these things. How do I make my son the best? And he remember when like the cassette, you had to turn it and flip it, right?
Yeah.
There was the machine that came out, like the first one that like automatically flipped it.
Whew.
And I think it was like $600 back then.
Game changer.
He he would put me to bed. He'd say goodnight, tell me he loved me, pray with me, and then he'd put on Zig Ziglar. Breck, I listened to Zig Ziglar all night, every night,
Oh,
and all these guys while I slept. How
yes.
crazy is that?
Well, no wonder. I mean, we're going to see you at the top and check up. Check up.
Oh, see you at the top, baby.
You can get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want.
That's right.
Yeah, all of it.
So which leads me, so what is leadership? And I think leadership is at its core, it's like it's being a great servant, man. It's how do you serve your people well? How do you lead your family? Well, you got to serve your wife. How do you lead your kids? We got to serve your kids.
Hmm.
It's this really humble kind of idea of leadership, but we share the same faith and belief. And if you look at how Jesus led,
Hmm.
he led by serving.
Hmm.
Greatest leader of all time.
Yeah.
He just led by serving people. And I think serving, being a great listener, and really caring about the people that you serve, to me, that's great leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. What would be kind of where would you say your leadership story started? I mean, I know now, I've got a little insight like the setup, but when can you identify kind of the first role when you kind of stepped into and I'll preface this with this. I believe everyone's a leader because God has given all of us a life to steward.
That's right.
And leadership is a stewardship,
Stewardship. Exactly.
and there's a time limit on that. We don't know what that is. And then one day we're going to be held accountable for it.
That's
It's
right.
going to take every person, no matter where they're at, what context, has been given the incredible opportunity and responsibility to lead themselves. With that being said, um, as it relates to leading others, what would be your kind of first intro to little Kenworth stepping
Yeah.
into the role?
So I love basketball. That was my game.
Okay.
I played all the sports, but I was a baller.
Yeah.
And I had this coach, Chris Brown. He played for the Tar Heels for a season. And I think that was maybe the first time when like somebody else saw something in me and was like, hey, like you lead this team.
Yeah.
And I did. I learned how to lead the team. I learned how to build them around the team. I learned how to fire up the team. I learned how to like, let's go. Like, and you start to kind of learn people and what they're thinking and how they're thinking and how to make them all work together towards this common goal. We're here. We have to get here. So we all have to be on the same page, rowing the same direction to get where we want to go. And that's probably the first time I can remember like, oh, like I like this and I can do this. And he says I can do it. Yeah. And I think that I haven't thought about that in a long time, but I think that's probably the first time I can remember being like a real leader for my seventh grade basketball team.
Right.
Yeah.
Love that. As you kind of think through kind of like the leadership journey that you've been on as an adult, were there some leadership moments that kind of stretched you, shaped you as you're looking back and like some and typically, at least in my life, they were some oops, some misses and some swings and didn't quite and I loved basketball like you. There's a skinny point guard in here somewhere. I don't know if I'll ever see him again. But I absolutely loved basketball and everything about basketball. And I got turned on early um, in like my college experience that I had a coach uh, and he was at Tennessee Temple. And coach, it was uh, Dwayne Glasscock, but everybody called him Lefty because he was a lefty. And man, he took me under his wing and he we would play one on one before practice or after practice, summer camps. He had just beat the stink out of me, but he was a great athlete. He was like all American, drafted as a in the major leagues, like great athlete. And but he spoke into me things that my dad had been saying my whole life. But it wasn't dad this time, it was coach.
Mm.
And he began to kind of shape me in my early 20s in some ways. What would have anything similar to that of like someone that kind of invested in you or you saw they like in those adult years?
Yeah. Uh, yeah. There were definitely some other people that saw something in me that helped encourage me to keep going and keep kind of following this path. Like, hey, man, you've got something,
Mhm.
stay. And I was sort of, high school, it's like, who's the most likely to go to prison? Who's the most likely to succeed? Who's the most likely? I was definitely in this guy's going to prison or he's going to be successful at whatever he does.
Yeah.
But it's a very fine,
Line.
let's pray and hope and push and let's. So I had some guys and teachers along the way that helped steer me towards, you know, the
Mhm.
better fork in the road.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then some like even just some business guys that, and even how I do life and how I travel and how I go and I love my dad, I love my father, and I really like him now. There was a season where we loved each other. We probably didn't like each other. We worked together for a season, and it was a lot of this. And during those years, he'd be like, he'd be like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you going to Portland for this conference? Like, what are you doing? You should be working." You know, well, I'm gonna go meet my friends out there. I'm gonna meet more friends. He's like, "What does that even mean?" Like this idea, like, and I was always drawn towards relationships. I'm a highly relational dude, and
Mhm.
I believe in friendships, and I believe in community. And it's a gentleman, Greg Enos, actually, the same place where I met Christian. We became good friends, and he was he was an executive at Eli Lilly in Indy. Very much like had a plan, right? Got married, they had three boys. He's like ridiculously smart, crushing life. His wife was life of the party. They love to travel, they love to go, they love to host. They're amazing people. And his plan was like, let's get the kids through college, get them kind of married. I'll retire. I'll do consulting. We'll travel the world. Big missions guy, but loves to be on a beach too. Well, his wife had an issue, a medical issue, and they can't go. And he, at the same time, like, and I like contrast in life. So everybody in my life, my family's like, I'm an idiot. What are you doing? Shouldn't be spending this time and money away for what? And I've got my buddy Greg, who's like, no, man, you go, you do it. Don't put your family at risk. Don't be dumb. Don't run up credit card, all the things.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, go, go. And he was just like cheering me on, putting wind in my sail. And, I'll never forget the hundreds of conversations we've had. And the chapter I told you about that I'm gonna write one day, he's in that as well.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, there's always those, people you meet along the way that see something in you and encourage you, right? Encouragement is sort of I don't know, you don't see it so much in today's world, which is it's heartbreaking, but you're an encourager, I'm an encourager, our whole groups, we are that. But also like we kind of grew up in that. And so I think about that. Like I always want to encourage everybody around me, right? I want to make it better. Like when I leave, it's better than before I got there. That's my goal. Just want to love on people.
Yeah.
And I don't think that just happens. I think you remember the people that loved on you. It's like my home is always full of children and people. The other night we had 75 people here, and my kids were a little older. I had kids earlier in life. And I always we have a rule in our house, like we call them the littles. When the littles are at Casa de Reeves, the little kids, you make them feel like kings and queens.
Mm.
You love on them, you play with them, you take them on the quad, you jump on the tram, you make them feel like kings and queens. Because remember Isaac and Ruth and the older kids that loved on you, remember how you felt?
Yeah.
You make this next generation feel the same way.
Do for others what's been done for you.
Yes.
And sometimes we have to do for others what we wish somebody had done for us, right?
100%. 100%. So yeah.
Kenworth, do you have like so you have you know entrepreneurial, you started businesses, companies. Do you have kind of some kind of your values that you go, hey, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to um the engagement of people leading, so one of your values is being a servant leader.
Mhm.
That's important. I've heard you say be an encourager. Do you have maybe some other kind of guiding principles as it relates to how you lead and the kind of environment and experience that you want to create for people that you're leading?
Yeah. I mean, one of them is certainly this idea of caring for people well. At the brewery at 13 Stripes, we always say, I tell my team, right, all the time. I've been saying it for 10 years. It's like having kids. How many times do you repeat yourself as a father? A million, right? Repetition is the mother of mastery. And I say, we've two big tenets. Like one is you can't outwork us. You just cannot outwork us. We're just built differently and we are focused. Like just can't. More importantly, you cannot outcare us, is what I call it.
Mm.
You can't outcare us. It's impossible. You know, we both grew up in church. Remember the old saying, there's a broken heart in every pew.
Mm.
So if you come to my brewery, everybody who's serving you, what we say is there's a broken heart at every table, at every bar. You're going to love them like they need to be loved.
Mm.
And we just we just show up and care and serve and build real relationships. And it's really community first, right? It's beer second. Beer was never the idea, really. You can get beer anywhere. What we said is, this is the medium. This is the widget for how we build community.
Yeah.
This is how we get people to the table, but that's not what we are. We're
Mm.
really a community building company. And
Mm.
you mentioned the thing you saw online the other night. That doesn't just happen.
Right.
So it happens like friendship, like relationship, like long, beautiful marriages. A lot of work, a lot of intentionality, a lot of focus, and a lot of leading, serving, guiding, caring over
Yeah.
long periods of time reaps tremendous dividends, and both in personal and both in business. What's crazy is these ideas that Jesus, it's like these are his ideas.
Right.
It just so happens, Breck, it's really, really good for business. Like, if you just love people,
Yeah.
serve people, care for them, treat them like you would want to be treated, offer them value that they feel like it's a great exchange. I'm going to pull my wallet. I'm going to pay you for this service or product or widget or whatever, because that has real value.
Yeah.
That is a business.
It sounds like, with a lot of leaders, I'm in different contexts. So I work with a mortgage loan officer. I work with vice president of a college. I work with a dentist, has a dentist office. I work with um, a restaurant owner, runs a lobster shack, and it doesn't matter what it is. I always come back and say, guys, it doesn't matter what you do. Just always remember you're in the people business.
100%.
You're in the people business. So it doesn't matter, right? And so, how important, I mean, so let's talk a little bit about culture,
Yeah.
right? So um you are creating culture, like we're following. I know you've got to be like pumped. I'm absolutely amazed at Indiana, the Hoosiers, Coach Sig, the culture that he has built. I mean, we come from an athletic background. We know we've been on teams, lots of teams. What he is doing, what he has done to turn around a culture of victim losing. This is just this. We're the Hoosiers. We're not a football school, and to turn that around, it'd be amazing if it took him a decade. It didn't hardly take him 10 minutes. It was amazing the culture turnaround that has happened in for Indiana football. Uh, for you, how important is culture? How do you have a definition for culture? Do you define, like, how important is it to keep your not intention but your attention on the pulse of the culture going on in any of your companies?
It's everything. It's absolutely everything. I mean, because culture is what you feel, right? And we're emotional beings. And
Yeah.
I think it's not, it sounds cute. And I love the word, I love what it means, but it's sort of overplayed, right? When you've got it on plaques and, banks that have the worst culture ever, that like they don't, it's just a word. They just put it on a little, cute little picture, and that doesn't mean anything. Culture is what you feel.
Mm,
Culture is the feeling you get when you are on a team. It could be a baseball team, football team, banking team, mortgage team, restaurant, whatever. You feel this sense of belonging. You feel this sense of appreciation. You feel this sense of being cared for. You feel this sense of purpose and like, man, I'm here and I have a purpose. And like, we all feel this and we're all moving this direction. That it's it's a current. It's a current of energy, and it's everything.
yeah.
It's in my home, a wife, 5 kids, a lot of stuff we do. I can tell, and I'll drop everything in the world if the frequency in my home is off. I will drop everything,
Mm,
fix the channel. It's like the old school radios, right? You're in between channels, it gets crackly. I can feel it.
mm,
I can hear it. I can see it even.
yeah.
I go, okay, no, we're gonna tune this thing up and lock in the frequency that we know you know. And for us, it's hospitality. It's warm. It's welcoming. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
When you come visit me, Breck, you're gonna be like, dude, I love this place.
Yeah.
It's not. It's by design. It's by hard work. It's by intention. It doesn't just happen. It's culture.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of pushing over long periods of time, and then you've got it.
Yeah.
It takes, it's trust. You got to trust each other. You got to trust your team. So you got to,
That was my next question. How important is trust in developing healthy culture, whether it's at home, at work?
I, I mean, I think that's everything too, right? If I can't trust you,
Yeah.
that's the basis for all like relational. If I didn't trust you, Breck, why would I ever be friends with you?
Yeah.
So if I can't trust you, I can't be friends with you. I can't be friends with you. Why would I do business with you? Why would I? It just, it's everything.
Yeah. I
So
said EDOT. Everything depends on trust.
love it. Need to write that down. Um,
Everything depends on trust. It's foundational to whatever you hope it like. And I'll say this. I said, trust is the soil that every good thing grows out of,
love that.
right? And
100% true.
if but if you want good soil, you have to tend to the soil. And
Yes,
trust is not a destination. Trust is a journey. So you can't, like, as soon as we think that we've arrived and we don't have to worry about trust, we're in trouble.
that's right.
And I think one of the things that invades a culture of trust is suspicion,
Yes,
right? And man, you can have a culture of trust that you've worked on, you've kept close accounts, and then all it takes is a couple of miscues, because trust, like developing that trust, that's as the CEO, as the president, as like it's our responsibility. We're 100% like to pay attention to that, right? But we can't own all of it. Everybody is responsible for the developing of trust. Because as soon as somebody says, "Hey, I will do that," or I'll come by the house, or you can count on me, Dad, or you can count on me, Kenworth, and then they don't do it, there's a gap between what we said and what we did. And we can either fill that gap with trust or we fill it with suspicion. And to fill it with trust means I got to be proactive in owning what I said I would do. I'm not going to hope that, "Oh, I hope Kenworth doesn't find out. I hope he doesn't remember." Like all of those little things. How have you seen suspicion kind of invade culture of trust for leaders who are, whether mid-manager, CEOs? How important is that to keep your attention to the difference between trust and suspicion?
I think it's very important. And I think, like as you were talking, I kind of saw like a bank account, right? It's deposits or withdrawals.
Hmm.
And trust, you don't want withdrawals. And
Hmm.
every withdrawal you make,
Yeah,
it's
so
it
good.
gets harder to get back to, the black.
Yes.
And I think having a team that's dedicated to making as many deposits as possible
Hmm.
keeps that at bay. I mean, there's always bad apples and there's always, people that kind of sneak in and feel good, like, oh, okay, this is the right person. And then you realize, and I tell you, like, I love people. Like, I love people. I do not like firing people. I do not like hiring the wrong people and feeling like, oh my gosh, like, but I will tell you, if you're the wrong person and I sniff any of that out,
Yeah.
man, hire fast, fire fast, because that'll eat you alive. Um, so yeah, and I think just over time you become better at judging
Hmm.
people and making better decisions when it comes to personnel and cultural fits.
Yeah.
And cultures many different characters too. Some believe this, some believe this, some live life like this, some live. So you got to find these commonalities to say, well, no matter what you believe or however you do life, on these things, we are aligned.
Hmm.
And if we cannot be aligned, and make all these deposits in our trust bank that we're moving this direction. Because if I can't trust you to row the same direction I am, well, the whole boat's going to get jacked up.
Yeah.
I have to know we're all together on these core things. Everything else is, you're never going to find a big team that all believes the same thing.
Sure.
But I think you find your core ideas and what's the vision, where are you going, and get everybody aligned on those things, and you just start rowing the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
love
I think
that word alignment. I mean, it's so true. Getting a team, getting your car in alignment. As soon as it's out, you feel it. I got this 2014 Jeep, and have you ever heard of the death warble on a Jeep,
yes,
right?
yeah,
Yes. I
yes, yes.
When I bought a Jeep, I did not realize that there was the I'd never noticed the Jeep wave until I was driving a Jeep.
Oh yeah,
The two finger, like, and as I was driving, people are like shooting me two fingers like off the steering wheel. Like, I'm like, what is that? Like, are they? And then I'm like, I Google it. I'm like, yeah, it's the Jeep wave. It's Jeep owners, right? I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool. So there's this, right? But then I had this Jeep, and I had it for about 2 weeks, and I'm just driving on the interstate, and I hit a bump, and all of a sudden I'm like all over the place, scares me to death, right? I slow down, I pull off to the side, and I'm like, what was that?
yeah.
And
You're like, did I hit a rock? Did I hit a deer? Like, what the heck?
yeah, like, and so
Yeah.
I pull back on, and I'm scared to death, and I'm like, and I get back up to the speed limit, no problems. And then it happened again. So I took it back to the guys I bought it from, like, oh yeah, we thought we had corrected that. I'm like,
Mm,
oh, well, you haven't.
yeah.
So they went in, and so then I Googled that. And so there's a whole thing about the Jeep death warp. And I literally this morning, I'm on my way to a workout, and I'm going 35 miles an hour, and all of a sudden, it hasn't happened in months. Out of nowhere, I didn't hit anything. All of a sudden, it just starts, and I'm like, what in the world? When I mean, it's such a picture of alignment
Yeah.
when we have we're going somewhere and things are going great, and then either me as the leader or somebody on the team gets out of alignment, man, all of a sudden it's like you said, you could sense it in your family, like, oh, wait a minute, we
Thumbs off.
it's not feeling right, it's not sounding, it's not looking like what, there's something off here, and I'm not exactly sure what that is. That alignment word is so powerful when it comes to team culture, all of that.
Yeah, and I think I interesting. I just read. Well, I didn't read the whole 42 page, study, but there was a study they just dropped a group of 28 people over like hundreds of acres in this little, and they're like, all right, that's north, that's south, that's east, and they put trackers on them. And do you know what everybody did? They went in circles,
Really?
which is interesting, right?
Huh.
Like the Israelites walked in circles.
Yeah.
We're naturally wired. If we do not know exactly where we're going,
Mm.
we have a natural bend just to
Circles.
move in circles. So I think it's vision, right? It's a clear path. Like this is what we're doing for the brewery. We are building out the most amazing brewery in South Carolina. This is what it is. This is what it looks like. This is what's been in our hearts for 15 years. This is the dream we always wanted. This is who we always wanted to become.
Mm.
And now, we used to talk about what the community looks like, what it sounds like. We don't have to say it anymore because everybody else now, if you go and read our reviews, people are like, man, there's just such a, they don't know how to say it, but like there's an aura, there's an energy. People like, and we know who we are, we know where we're going, and we serve people well.
Hmm.
And that, that's our alignment with the vision.
You have in 13 Stripes, do you guys have a what Simon Sinek would call what's your why statement? Or maybe your purpose statement or
You
mission,
know,
whatever you want to call it.
we don't. Um, we probably should, but it's in our hearts. It's how we talk. It's how we breathe. It's how we interact.
Yeah,
We exist to build community. If you ask anybody, that is what we do. Our medium is just a great pint of beer and
yeah,
great, but that's all like, you know,
yeah.
we exist is to do this. And
So I'm a big proponent, like Simon Sinek. I think he calls it the golden triangle. It's, you got to know your why. But I'm a big believer in I like, I come from the church world, and every church spends, especially I was part of a church plant, and every church you go to these days has their mission statement somewhere. Typically, you could see it. But if you don't have a what and a how attached to the why or to your mission, it's just on the wall and never gets down the hall.
right.
And so you have to have. So it's interesting to hear you talk about the culture at 13 Stripes. Is you have your call, your why, you exist to create community. What are the behaviors? I was talking to one CEO recently, very well known, had a chance to just talk to him about values, and he said, I said, you guys, have values? He said, yeah. I said, for decades they were all nouns, and then a few years ago I turned them into verbs,
Hmm.
so they're behaviors, and I'm like, wow, that is so
Love
good.
that.
What
Love
are
that.
what would you say are some of the behaviors that you want that's attached to 13 Stripes? Or not just 13 Stripes, like the company, like what are there core behaviors? I've been hearing a few of these things, but where you would define as a leader is like how important is it to make sure that you do have a why you exist, what, well, you know, this is what you do. We
Right.
serve a great pint, right? But then how do we do that? And it's the how that I think most leaders probably pay the less attention to in my experience.
Yeah, because that's where like the really hard work is.
It's hard.
And,
It's
you know,
hard.
I and I'm an action guy. I'm like, I think of myself as, like an arrow, right? I'm the tip of the arrow. I move really fast. I break a lot of stuff. I'm high velocity, high energy, and then I'm like best in the class here. And I've become really good at the little feathers in the back, which I would call leading, coaching, advising. And I'm really not great in the middle, right? Which is all ops. It's all day to day, which I don't thrive there. And they're all equally hard work and own sort of spheres of expertise. But I think
Yeah, if
that
there's no body between the arrow and the feathers, it ain't getting very far.
it's not getting far. It takes the whole thing to
Yeah.
right to move it. And but it's action. And it's little things. It's paying attention to the guy that's got, he's out a beer at the table and just rolling up to him and asking and saying hi. It's, for the junk business, what we do is like, if there's an elderly lady that just needs to get rid of an old couch or arm, what we do? We're like, Mrs. Cockrell, we got a few extra minutes. Is there anything we notice your garage is we've got a broom and a vacuum. Can we just go ahead and clean this thing up for you? We notice this light bulb's out. Do you have a light bulb that it takes us 10 minutes?
Yeah.
That lady is a customer for life. She's
Yeah.
telling all of her people about us. She loves us. She's leaving great reviews for us. And it's not a gimmick. We do care. We're like, we would want to take care of you.
Yeah.
But again, like we talked about, by taking care of people, by giving them what they want, by serving them well, by paying attention, often it's little things, but little things become big things very quickly. And it just so happens it's also good for business because it's customer service. You said it's people, right? Everything I do, customer service. If I had to define any of it, any of the businesses that I own, operate, run, and part of,
Mm.
it is a customer service business that happens to remove junk. It's a customer service business that happens to sell beer. It's a customer service business that happens to have the best gym in town. It's a customer service business you see,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And in customer service is everything we've talked about. And that's where the real like hard work is,
Yeah.
you know, especially if you're having a bad day, do you really want to show up and serve people that are also maybe having a bad? No, you don't. But you
Right.
got to shake it off, dust it off, and remember who you are, remember who we are, and this is why you're here. Let's go. And yeah, just
Well, good. Man, it's been great having you on, Kenworth. Man, we could chop it up forever talking about this. Here's a couple of like closing thoughts. So, um, is there a failure in your rear view mirror or what seemed like a failure at the time that you're now grateful for? Like, man, I didn't see it then, but I'm grateful because I learned something from that experience or whatever that is. Anything come to mind?
yeah. Um, you know, the biggest one for me is really it's a personal journey that changed everything for me, which changed my family, changed my businesses, changed how I think and operate and lead. And I didn't know you then, Breck. Christian did. Um, our host did. So 9 years ago, bro, I had the coolest hair in every room, Breck. And I'm not a bragger. But I'll brag on my hair.
Yeah.
I had the coolest hair uh, in the room, in every room. Like people, they'd stop me, like, dude, what do you do to your hair? Like, how do you? It was wild,
Yeah.
which is funny now because now I'm bald,
Yeah.
and bald guys come up to me like, dude, how do you get that thing so tight? So it's hilarious to be like on both.
Oh man.
But about 9 years ago, I diagnosed with a thing called alopecia areata, which is it's an autoimmune condition that basically tells my immune system tells some hair follicles just to turn off. And so I had a pretty scruffy, I mean, I'm Italian, like, had plenty of hair. So I got these little spots in my beard and didn't think anything of it. Went to the dermatologist. They're like, oh, yeah, it's this thing, alopecia areata. It'll come back. A lot of guys get it. It can be diet, stress is probably why they think it. Well, sometimes people who get alopecia areata, the prognosis becomes alopecia totalis, which is total hair loss.
Mm.
And, and I had a look, Breck, and I was traveling. I'm in a lot of cool rooms. I'm in a lot of cool places. I'm in a lot of cool deals, a lot of cool access. And I had an image. It is what it is. And then I found out about that, and 8 months later, I lost all of my hair.
Wow.
And that was the toughest time
Mm.
ever because I was losing my I was losing my brand. I was losing my image. Every day, hair would fall off and it was breaking my heart. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to, of course, then all the lies like, oh man, no more cool rooms for you, no more cool events, no more, all that.
Right.
And it was probably, like I said, highly relational, man. I show up, I'm with people all the time.
Yeah.
Only time in my life I stopped showing up.
Mm.
I went like zero dark 30. No meetings, no people. I was hiding. I was sad. I was scared. You know, I was probably clinically depressed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And yeah, there was one night I'm sitting up, I'm playing my guitar at the island, got a glass of tequila, and I'm just feeling lonely, man. Just my family's sleeping. And I knew, I talk about the frequency in my house. Well, it was off because dad
Yeah,
was crumbling,
right.
and I could see my kids start to look at me with some like question, right? Like, man, they knew dad was not okay. And that night at the island, I knew I was running from this thing that was happening to me.
Mm,
And I didn't like it, but I didn't know how to get out of it. And I had this kind of visceral moment where like I saw myself as if I were my kids, like looking, if I'm Hugh looking at dad, like, dude, dad's not okay. And dad's not with people. He's different. He's quiet. He's retreating. I was retreating from everybody, even my family, which is terrible. And that night, when I had that moment, I said, dude, I'm done. I'm not running from it anymore. I'm going to run to it as fast as humanly possible.
wow.
Put down the guitar, open my computer. It was probably 2 a.m., Brett. I bet I sent 50 emails. They were like, hey, Brett, so sorry I haven't gotten back to you, man. I'm going through it. We got a lot to catch up on. Can we get coffee Wednesday? Da, da, da,
Yeah.
times 50.
Wow.
And I looked like a freak, man. I had hair everywhere. It was like I couldn't, there was no more hiding. I had to show up and be like, this is where I am. These are my cards. I,
Wow.
I hope you still love me. And going through that process, I realized all the things that were in my head, all the lies weren't true.
Mm,
People did not want to see me because I looked like a freak. People actually, it's humanity, man. People are like, I'd be like, Brett, dude. I mean, because you look at me like, bro, are you okay? Like, what's going on?
right.
And my community got deeper and richer and better.
Mm,
And I had a buddy tell me, he's like, man, you got the greatest blessing nobody would ever want, right? And what I got to learn, I found out who I truly am.
oh, wow.
Like,
Mm,
dude, I know exactly who I am.
wow.
But I don't think I would have gotten there
Mm,
had that not happened.
yeah.
So it's like the greatest gift nobody would ever want. And I was bald. I went from the coolest hair ever to bald, no hair, probably never coming back,
Yeah.
8 months. And then having to just get back out in the world and community. And dude, I just kept running to it
Yeah.
and found out who I am. And that made all of the difference for me. And I lead from that. I don't have to prove anything to you. I don't have to hide from you.
Yeah.
I just show up and like, this is who I am. How can I love you, serve you, lead you? That's it.
Mm,
That's it. It doesn't, I'm not playing the sides. I know who I am. I operate from that. And that, dude, tremendous. Like I wouldn't take it back. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that to me is the biggest thing I've learned in my entire life, which bleeds over to being a great husband, being a great father, being a great leader, businessman, all the things because I went through that.
Wow. Man, thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that. I just, vulnerability. I don't know if you're a big Brene Brown fan, but man, when I started
Yeah.
reading her and she was talking about vulnerability and how important vulnerability it is, and just the importance of leading with vulnerability. Just appreciate you sharing that. And if you're a leader out there today and you're listening, and my hope and encouragement, we're going to go through it. There's going to be some things that are unseen. I used to, we're typically in a storm. Um, we're heading out of a storm, or unfortunately, we're getting ready to step into one. And you just never know from one Sunday to another the world can completely change. And for you, and if leaders that are out here, and maybe this year you've got such great intention, you're hopeful, and you know, um, it's good to hear, Kenworth, when something hits us that's so fundamental to who we are, our identity, and to see somebody come out on the other side and knowing who they are. Man, I think leaders can resonate with that and sticking with that and owning it. And so thank you, man. Thank you for sharing all of this. I loved it. If something that Kenworth shared resonated with you, a story, attention, a step that he took, like, don't rush past that, right? So stop, pause, think about it. The reason why we exist here is to help you take your next best step, dot, 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 whatever that is. And so, if this episode, if this podcast helped you today, share it with somebody, subscribe it. We love to know that. But hey, thanks for spending time with us today in the Leaders Locker Room. And man, just continue to let's take our next best step, and we'll see you next week.